Today I want to talk a little bit about a specific brand of pro-lifer that I'm sure you've met if you've had any dialogue with different pro-lifers. This person basically is apolitical. They say something like, laws don't change hearts. So I'm going to just preach the gospel and try and change people's minds and change hearts. And once hearts are changed, abortion will be abolished. And because of that, those premises, the conclusion they draw is that they should be apolitical and not really care about the political process because laws don't change hearts. Now, I do identify with their premises. I absolutely agree that changed hearts change policy, and that is how abortion is going to be abolished. But I also believe that our laws will reflect that change, and the only way that happens is if we utilize the means of the political process. But aside from that, the reason I bring them up is I was reading a book this week, and it's called Abortion Rights, A Social History of Abortion in America by Marvin Olasky. And the main thing I drew from this book was that abortion was practiced pretty regularly in early American history. That abortion did not become popular in 1973. The culture had already shifted in 1960. The press had shifted earlier than that. But basically, we had abortion being practiced as, 1830s, even before then. But it became more popular after the 1830s and the rise of Spiritism and different New Age movements, as well as a rise in prostitution that necessitated the use of abortionists so that prostitutes could continue on in their trade. Now, the reason that's important is I really think this is true, and it was true of me. For some reason, I thought abortion became common and practiced regularly after 1973. But that book demonstrates that's not the case. So, the conclusion of that problem is that we actually have to affect change in the culture. Here's what I mean. I kind of got the cart before the horse. Marvin Olasky describes different communities where abortion was illegal. And in those communities where abortion was illegal, papers in those communities would run 10, 15 ads advertising different abortionists and different means of aborting children. So what that basically tells me is that the law wasn't effectual. No one wanted to uphold the law. So what does that mean? Well, it means that the law didn't actually reflect the culture's opinion. And if the law doesn't move along with the change in the people's opinion, the people won't actually enforce the law. So what does that mean? It means that we should, as an abolitionist movement, really fight to affect change in our local communities. We want to create societies in every community that opposes abortion politically and in the community so that the community's mind can be changed about abortion, so that when the law does change and when the community stands up and says, no, we will not tolerate abortion in this community, when that happens and they pass a law, that community will enforce that law. So, what should we do? We should honestly try and fight to decentralize our efforts. For the most part, the pro-life movement relies on, big national speakers and national organizations. Organizations that are top-down in the way they function, that don't affect change in all these different local communities. I'm sure that's some of their vision, but it doesn't happen. And that's what we want to do. We want to create change and conflict on a local level in order to change the culture's mind about abortion. Because if the culture's mind doesn't change, abortion laws that are passed aren't upheld. So those people that are apolitical, I don't agree with their conclusion. I still think that the political process should be engaged and dealt with. But they have a very, very strong point. That a law by itself will not do anything. So we need to ask ourselves, in our efforts to abolish abortion, are we focusing far too much on laws and neglecting changing the culture's mind.